What's good, YouTube? It's your boy Mir, and welcome to the ultimate guide for Gley, by far the best DPS in the game, with her infinite ammo and lifesteal abilities. In this video, we'll be going over her mechanics and how she plays, build recommendations from early to late game, optimal choices for weapons and gear, along with recommended substat priority. And if you have any further questions, I stream every night on Twitch, so you can ask me there. The link will be in the description. And without further ado, let's get into it.
조금만 기다리렴. 엄마가 구해줄게.
Let's talk about Gley's abilities. Her Q allows her to switch between two different states, similar to Equinox if you played Warframe. You'll know you're in the frenzied state because her hair will turn from black to white. While in the frenzied state, you gain 15% attack, but you also receive 10% more damage, and your incoming healing is reduced by 50%. Also, within each mode, every ability behaves differently, so let's get into the differences. Her C, Life Siphon, in the non-frenzied state allows you to heal yourself for 5% of your max HP per enemy hit up to 10 enemies. The base range of this ability is super low, so you'll need to get close to get the full effect, but the range can be increased with certain mods. In the frenzied state, you can also heal yourself, however the amount of healing you receive is halved, but the ability does substantially more damage, so it can be used more offensively. So I recommend switching states depending on which version you need in the moment. Gley's V is where she really shines. That sounds crazy. Gley's V ability, Increased Sensory, gives her a 30% movement speed bonus in the non-frenzied state, while also increasing her life spear generation, which is her passive that I'll touch on in a bit. You also gain an increase to your incoming healing. Now in the frenzied state is where Gley's DPS really shines. She gains infinite ammo for a set amount of time, so getting this ability to 100% uptime is very important to allow Gley to do insane damage when paired with certain weapons. Gley's final ability, Massacre, allows her to use her signature weapon that scales according to your current in-hand weapon, adopting its fire rate and damage profile, while also multiplying its damage by her current skill power. In the non-frenzied state, each shot stuns the enemy, while in the frenzied state, the damage is increased. Finally, Gley's passive, Thirst. Because of her passive, Gley doesn't get shield or MP, instead her base health is much higher than any other Descendant, allowing you to only have to worry about building her HP and defense stats. Also, instead of using MP for her skills, her Q and V cost 10% of your HP to cast, while her C and Z use power of life stacks, which I'll explain more in the next section. Alright, so we're in the laboratory. I'm gonna show you guys how to play Gley, of course. So first, let me touch on the Bond of Life stacks real quick. So, after you kill the enemy, in the non-frenzied state, it's a 60% chance to drop one of these little orbs. So these are the Bond of Life. And you can see at the very bottom of the screen, I just got one of that red bar. So to cast your C and Z, as you can see, they're X'd out right now. You have to have at least 3. Now your C doesn't scale off having extra. All you need is 3 to be able to cast it. But your Z gets more ammo depending on how many you have. So I had 10, I got 10 bullets. But this really isn't that big of an issue, because if you go into frenzied state, you pop your pistol, you can pop your infinite ammo. And it also applies to this as well. So, if you want to use the pistol, I recommend doing that. But honestly, I just save my Bond of Life to heal. It's usually more important. But also, yeah, I can show this. So when I pop the pistol with my sniper out, shoots way slower, but the damage is, way higher than it would be if I used the full auto version. So you really only want to use the pistol when you swap to your sniper. I mean, I guess you could use it with your regular weapons, like if you want to level up the proficiency without using, a low level weapon or whatever the case may be. But so that's your Bond of Life. Pretty simple. Now let me explain her gameplay loop. So when I'm running through like the domains or dungeons, whatever they're called, I pop my V in the non-frenzy state to get the speed boost, and then swap to frenzy so I can get the 15% damage bonus. And then when the other one runs out, you know, I just swap back, pop it again, go back in frenzy. Also, as you can see, as I'm popping my abilities, my health is going down 10% every time. And also on the left of my character, you can see the icon, so you can also tell if you're in frenzy state that way, if you can't tell by like all the blood and hair that's around it. But it also shows the icons for, you know, your duration for your sprint, your duration for your infinite ammo. You know, just keep look out for those. But with the build I have now, you can have both of them up like infinitely, which is really nice. But so that's one way, you know, with the domains to keep your speed boost and get your damage. Now let's say you're in frenzy state, you're getting weak, and you know you need to heal. So what you want to do is obviously swap out, you know, get your grapple, get your health back, and swap back and do your damage again. So even though Gley's abilities have, you know, 2 different uses, it's not really that complicated. Like if you play her for about an hour, just, you know, spam abilities, you'll get the hang of it. But you know, like I said, she's a very active character, so kind of just use whatever ability or version of the ability you need in the situation. And really just have fun with her. She's a very uh, fun character to play when you get the hang of her. But that's pretty much it for how to play her. Let's go ahead and get into the build. Okay, first we're going to talk about the most important thing when building your Descendant, which is your modules or mods, whatever you want to call it. As you can see in the top right, I have 85 out of 85 capacity. To get to 85, what you're going to do is click this, and you're going to click max capacity. And there's this red frisbee looking thing that's going to be here. And you're going to use that to get you to 80. Now to get to 85, you want to add one of these gold ultimate mods. So you can see in the sub module. Right now I have 70. But when I add this, it gives me 15. And also, you want to use a module socket. Sure. And you want to use whatever this icon is for the gold one that you use. That way it gives you 15 instead of 10. Like if I didn't have this here, it would only give me 10. But because I have the mod slot, it gives me 85. So that's really important. This is the first thing that you want to max out, just so you can get more mod capacity to start building your Gley. So early game, what you really want to look for is cooldown mods and duration mods. Some of them, like these, like the blue ones, you can get super early on. So these are the first 2 you want to equip on your Gley after you get this one maxed. Then after that, you really just want to look for more duration mods and HP. Like I said earlier in the video, Gley doesn't have shield or MP. So those 2 stats, if they're a negative on a mod, they give you like MP conversion as minus 15 MP. That doesn't do anything to Gley. So I just get 36.5% cooldown for free. Same with this one. Negative MP doesn't affect her. So any mods that have negative MP, negative shield, they don't do anything for Gley. And if it comes with a big benefit, then it's worth it. So starting off, of course, max this. You want to get your increased HP. You want to get nimble and skill extension. These are the first 3 mods you want to put on. And then after that, you want to start collecting these other mods that are here. Some of them you get pretty late. I'll actually show you really quick. You go to your world map, go to access info, click on module, go to Descendant. You can look up any of the mods that I had there. Like I'll just look up Gley real quick. So all of these are like her unique mods, and if you click on them, press F or whatever it is on keyboard, it'll tell you what you have to do to unlock these mods. So just, you know, quick little tip. But back to the build. So like I said, get this max, then get your blue mods, because as you can see at the bottom, they don't have like a I guess like a name tag or whatever. You can use as many of these blue mods as you want, but as you see, like for this HP one, if I was trying to put this one on and try to put on another one that has the same icon, it won't allow you to. So the blue mods are really important because you can use as many of them as you want to. But moving on from that, outside of HP and cooldown and duration, you want to start building your defense up. It's really important for Gley because even having a lot of HP without having any damage reduction, she can still get melted pretty quickly, especially because she does damage to herself with the 10% every time. That's also where this mod right here comes into play, HP Collector. It's her best mod for sure because Gley is constantly low HP, and this her C ability doesn't really have that much range, so sometimes you try to grapple in after swapping and try to get your heal off, but you die before you can even get it off. Oh, didn't mean to hit that. So HP Collector comes in clutch a lot. There's also another mod called Potent Collector that gives you the Bond of Life stacks that we were talking about earlier, the red bar, at a 12% chance. Like this mod is okay. I would recommend HP Collector, but if you get this before you get HP Collector, which I mean it's RNG, so whichever one you get first, put it on. But in game you want the HP Collector, but this one is fine until you get HP Collector. So yeah, that's pretty much it for this build. These mods right here, oh right, let me explain these. So focus on non-attribute and focus on dimension. So if you go and hover over these abilities, you can see above the name of the ability, it tells you what type of ability it is. So this one's non-attribute and dimensional. This one's non-attribute and singular, you know, and so on. So you want to get at least the mod that applies to all of them. So I have both of them on because, you know, they give me the cooldown, but you really only need non-attribute, at least for Gley. But just in general for most characters, if you want to figure out what your character scales off of, just go into your mods and hover over, you know, whichever icon you're curious about. That's pretty much it for the infinite ammo build. So, you know, you just want max cooldown. As you can see here, the duration is 9.3 seconds and the cooldown is only 7.5 seconds. And really, you don't need this mod here. You can get, it's not 1-to-1, like it's a 0.7 second wait, which isn't that important. You could really slot another mod in here. And that's probably what I'll end up doing. When I show you guys the gear, you can get cooldown on your gear, which if I get like slightly more, then I'll be able to, you know, remove this mod, add more defense or something like that, which is probably what I'll do. Yeah, so that's actually it for the infinite ammo build. Now this build I haven't like really tested, but I think it could be pretty good. Where you really just you spam your life siphon in your frenzy state for the damage. So you get, you know, 2 max range, cooldown as well, cooldown here as well, and then, you know, just get your HP mods. Now I don't know how effective this is, like this is kind of Bunny's role, but you know, if you want to just mess around with you know, a Gley nuke build, this is also something you can do. And I didn't really talk about this mod here, but this is for sure her best mod. When using a firearm, your attack gradually increases. It works how the longer you hold your fire button, the higher it ramps up. It only goes up twice to I think 25% chance. I don't remember where I got that number from, but I'm pretty sure it's 25%. Once it gets to those 2 stacks, this is for sure her best mod. You won't be able to get this until you unlock hard mode, which I do recommend because everything has a higher drop chance in hard mode. So like, if you wanted to farm HP Collector, which is a 3% drop chance, it's 5% in hard mode, which isn't that much higher, but when you're farming this for hours, that 2% really helps you. So yeah, that's pretty much it for our mods. really not that hard to um build Gley. Like, she doesn't need much. You really just want cooldown and duration so you can spam your abilities. Alright. Now moving on, we'll talk about her weapons really quick. I really only have these three on inventory right now. But her best in slot weapon is this vestigial organ. As you'll see in the showcase after this part, this weapon literally melts everything. It's a rocket launcher that you can infinitely spam. Has the highest fire rate out of all the rocket launchers. I'll show you the build I have on it right now. It's not the best, but these two mods right here are what you need to upgrade for every weapon. Like, these are the two most important. And then this is probably the third most important. You want to switch this mod out depending on what colossal you're fighting, because it really doesn't matter when you're fighting like ads. Like you see, I have the toxic and chill one maxed out. Yeah, these three mods should be priority on whatever weapon, but for this weapon specifically, Gley's best weapon, you want to, you know, do as much as you can for this. And Gley works with literally any weapon. I would recommend it be full auto though, because the Predator Instinct mod doesn't work with single fire weapons, so you can't get the double or 25% damage buff from like spraying a sniper, because you obviously can. And then any full auto weapon, I think the best full auto weapon for Gley is the Thunder Cage. Is it this right here? So, that's probably her best full auto weapon. I'm just not using it right now because I literally used it forever. But those three weapons, you want a sniper, for sure this rocket launcher. No matter what, you have to get this. I don't know specifically where it drops, but I'm sure you can look it up. There's videos everywhere for this game. Now, let me get into the gear. So for the reactor, you want a neutral. Is that what it's called? Non-attribute? Whatever. There's like, you know, the different elements. You want this one. Whatever it's called. And the two substats you want on this are the skill cooldown and skill duration. You want the skill cooldown to be higher than duration, is slightly more important, so that you can remove that mod that we talked about earlier and replace it. But for early game, it really doesn't matter. If it has skill cooldown or skill duration as a substat, just put it on regardless if it's this specific reactor or a fire or ice, whatever one. Just put it on. Same thing goes for these. You really just want 2 defense and 2 max HP. Don't worry about substats early on. Now, the best substats to get are, well, for this one is max HP and the shards. For these other ones, I'm not really sure. You for sure want the opposite of the main stat. So if this one has defense, you want max HP. Defense, you want max HP. This one has max HP, you want defense, right? The shield recovery does nothing for me, and the max shield does nothing. But this one, you want max HP, defense, item acquisition. I don't really know the other substat that can roll. It's like gold, rarity, and stuff like that. It really doesn't matter. As long as you get the main stat and one substat that you want, that's all you really need. Now, about this set that I'm using, you get it from the hard mode executioner, I believe. You farm him to get this set, and this is for sure her best in slot, because you skill duration and firearm attack increases proportionally to the ratio of max HP loss. So while losing HP, popping all her abilities and taking damage, you'll be doing more damage. Your MP recovery is negative 22%, but like I said before, it doesn't do anything for Gley. But the HP recovery actually allows you to be in your frenzied state and use your C. And even with the 50% reduction, it goes to what, 34% reduction when this passive pops up, but it only happens when you're 50% or lower. So this is the most important set to get for Gley. There are a few other ones that are like more general, like a 2 set with attack, and then there's like a 2 set with maybe like defense or something like that, if I remember correctly. But in game you want this, but like I said, early game sets don't matter. You just want whatever the highest level is with defense or max HP on all these stats. But that's pretty much it for Gley. It doesn't really take that long. What did I even say? It doesn't even take that long to build her, but or it's not that hard to build her. You're really just looking for max HP, cooldown, and duration. focus on those mods. Whatever mods you have, just use them until you get, of course, the exact mods that I have. But I think that's it. Next, I'm gonna show you a showcase of me actually fighting the Colossal I was talking about that drops this gear. And yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, make sure to like, subscribe, and I should see y'all, I don't know, sometime. Maybe I'll drop more X Defiant first Descendant videos. But I'll catch y'all. Peace.